Hello, I am Professor Zahoor, ex-Dean, Faculty of Fine Arts, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. In this module, I am going to tell how to use glazes in the painting. There are different colors which can be used for glazing. It gives a beautiful glaze. Burnt sienna, olive green, lemon yellow. I am going to use crimson and lemon yellow in my demonstration. Coat the canvas with the texture white and let it dry nicely before starting the work. To start an abstract work, just apply pure crimson color on the canvas. It won't take long in drying as it's acrylic color. Only on drying one has to apply second color, otherwise it will blend. You can also overlap washes of two colors to change the tone and hue of the underlying color. For a rough texture, use hog hair brush to spread the color. The transparency of the top color with the underlying color creates a third color. With this technique, it is essential to let the paint layers dry before applications to avoid the colors running together. It is also important to know how colors will interact with each other. Crimson is considered a transparent color. Keep on stroking till satisfied with the blend and texture on the canvas. Painting must be fertile. It must give birth to a word. It must be fertile. It must give birth to a word. It must fertilize the imagination. John Mairo, 1959. Every artist has his own visual statements, ideas, presumptions, or concepts, which show their color only when the artwork is created. All the notions can vary from the state of before to after creation. Scumbling glazing is a method of applying very thin layers to the painting. Scumbling is scrubbing on a dryish layer of thick or stiff pigment. Scumbling tends to stick to the top of the canvas fibers. I have applied dark tone on the top edge and have left the lower corner light. You can turn your painting upside down also to explore the possibilities of abstraction. Line Jean Jacques Rousseau says, the world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. And the underlying color shows through a bit. Scumbling has a very reflective effect and is good for building form and depth by creating illusion that surface is coming toward the viewer. Scumbled areas are bright from a distance. Too much scumbled surface make the painting appear flat, opaque and oxidized. Glazing is the opposite, adding a very transparent tinted wet medium layer. Glazing tends to settle in the crevices of the canvas texture. The top can be wiped off to show the original color, but the glaze down in texture will alter the color tone of underlying hue. Glazing has a distancing effect and is good for building form and depth by creating illusion that surface is further away or receding. Check if the color is dried before placing another color over it. With the glazing, the base color totally changes its quality. I am applying ultramarine blue over crimson. This is another transparent color which is preferred for glazing. In abstraction, with every stroke, one finds another form or shape. One can see that even after applying ultramarine blue, one can notice the crimson underneath. The painting has a life of its own. I try to let it come through. Jackson Pollock, 1912 to 1956. One can be highlight a few areas with brighter tone and blend the subdue the tone in other parts. You can try to see the effects from all directions, upside down, vertical or horizontal. And then choose the best which is clicking to mind. You have to wait for each and every coat to dry. A slight white patch is giving a way for vision to enter the painting. It is effective for very smooth gradations and also for adjusting dried layers. Apply a light tone over it to make it stand different. It can be used to great advantage to manipulate the reflective or absorptive light qualities inherent in pigment. Another layer of glaze with lemon yellow and yellow ochre. Yellow over blue gives a greener tone. The more you experiment, the more tones one can explore. There is no must art because art is free. Vasily Kandinsky's statements fits perfectly when one just want to use the technique of experimentation. While applying the overlayers, one can leave a few areas untouched to show the reflection of layer by layer progress. One observes and one can make out which colors have been used in the painting, whether is base layer or upper coat. Apply a very strong light by using lemon yellow and white over the lighter patch. Each stroke is a step forward. One cannot compare one artist's work with some other. Just like Auguste Rodin says, the modes of expression of men of genius differ as much as their souls, and it is impossible to say that in some among them Drawing and color are better or worse than in others. Keep on using a few strokes of lighter color at various places, but in a bit dull way. One can see the play of transparent and opaque colors. One can imagine a landscape, a form, or just enjoy the play of colors like prevailing music. Just by a limited palette, also one can make a magical painting. A few touches here and there can create a link between detached patches. The principal pigments commonly used for glazing are madder like crimson, ultramarine, yellow, and indigo. Each color lends different effect of a painting. The chromatic effect of glazed areas might vary from the unglazed one. That is why one has to keep in mind the overall harmony of a finished painting. The shine and the transparency of the glazed lends an optical depth and luminosity to the glazed part. The thickness, thinness, or viscosity of the glaze decides the tonal variation of a work. As glazing contains more content of oil than colors, one needs to be very careful of any lint or dust being attached to the surface in the process of drying.